guys, welcome back to How I Turn My Pain into Passion with me, Sacha Atherton. We are now on episode 6. This one is a bit of a bombshell, as I mentioned in the last one. This episode is called Surprise, He's Not Your Dad. Yes, so the clue's in the title. So I suppose I'll jump straight into it. The person that I mentioned in one of the earlier episodes that I thought was my dad actually wasn't. And I found this out at the back end of 2011, around the time that I was due to go back to work for maternity leave. So just a bit of background then. The person that ended up being my dad, I knew who he was. He was an ex of my mum's, and every few years he'd pop up. He'd be working in the area, and he'd pop up and visit and whatever else as a friend, apparently. But the conversation always ended up in him trying to convince me that he was my dad. And we're talking about from a really young age, when it just was so inappropriate and quite damaging actually to me as a young child, from like 9 onwards. In fact, probably even earlier than that. So I knew who he was. And the last time I saw him before I found out, I was about 18. And we had a big argument because I was absolutely sick of him coming and doing what I thought was causing trouble. He basically kept trying to come through me and talk about it because my mum wouldn't speak to him about it. And of course, throughout this time, she's saying that he's absolutely lying, he's just causing trouble. So I just really could not stand this guy. So fast forward a few years later, I got a Facebook message from him saying that he had heard that I'd had a baby. He's going to be in Nottingham, can we go for lunch? And I was like, yes, we can, but with everybody. So I want my brothers there, my mum there, and then I'll bring Jaya. So we went for the lunch, and eventually the conversation started turning a bit later on in the day, as it always did. And then I think it might have been the next day, actually, that he sent me a message and just said, look, I know you really don't like talking about this, but would you be willing to do a DNA test? And I thought to myself, you know what? He's really doing my head in. We've been going through this for years. I'm just going to do the DNA test just to shut him up. And then when I went to my mum to tell her that, that's probably the first time that I thought there might be a little bit of truth to it, because her reaction was just, she was furious. She was just basically saying, why would I give him the satisfaction and everything else? So anyway, we did the DNA test, which felt seriously like something off a Jerry Springer or Maury show. It was pretty bizarre. Did the swabs and everything else. And then I got the letter back to say he is my dad. And for most people, I suppose it would have been a massive blow. You know, for me, it was an inconvenience, I'll be honest, totally honest. It wasn't like how I felt with my mum all of those years, really seeking her approval, her attention, her love. I didn't want a dad. I had no interest, no desire to have one. I was totally fine with not having a dad. I didn't crave that at all, which really helped me actually with this situation, because I was just like, oh, for goodness sake. That was my reaction. It's just like, I wasn't even angry at my mum. I was just like, you know, it was a long time ago. Everybody makes mistakes. But I kind of just texted her and said, look, the results have come, and she was ignoring me, and then I just told her, and she just basically went on the attack, started saying all of this stuff to me. Now you can go and tell everybody what a great life you would have had, blah blah blah, all of this crazy stuff. So that's when I got angry, and I was just like, you cannot be serious. I've done absolutely nothing wrong. To this day, I haven't had any explanation, no apology, no nothing. She didn't acknowledge it. So for about a year we didn't speak. And obviously I had no interest actually in having a relationship with him, the person that ended up being my dad, but I did want Jay to have one. So I agreed for them to start building a relationship. Now what you would think is that for somebody that's been chasing me down for so many years, trying to convince me that he was my dad, this would be the happy ever after. This would finally be the happy ending, or happy beginning, however you want to look at it. No, it was not. I'm running out of time, so this is going to be another episode, but yeah, another bombshell coming. it didn't go well. So make sure you subscribe, tune in to episode 7, and that will be around what happened and what type of person this new dad ended up being.